understanding that diversity is here to stay. So it's not a thing or a fad or a hashtag. That's the world we're trying to live in right now. And I think we can take like 1 or 2 questions before we have to bounce. So if anyone has any questions, you can ask us.
So, obviously at the start of all of this, you were talking about game chat and how obviously people are treated based on anything from sexuality to gender. And obviously a recent topic in gaming is that Riot Games have just disabled all chat for League of Legends to try and combat this. Do you see this as kind of like a step forward in diversity, or is it kind of like an easy way out for the company instead of focusing on bans and such?
Sorry, I'm not understanding the question. So League of Legends right now, they've modified their chat when it comes to like banning certain words, is that correct?
No, they've just disabled all chat between both enemy team and teammates in an attempt to stop toxicity.
That's okay. To your question, that's lazy. See, that's the difference. That's lazy. That's because instead of trying to tackle the problem, they're shying away from it. Instead of saying, okay, so why is our community this way? What have we enabled in our game, or what have we enabled in our culture that has allowed them to think that saying the N-word or calling any kind of slurs is acceptable in the game chat in the first place?
I think that's a bad idea. It's just saying no one will talk to each other ever again. That won't achieve anything, and if anything, because I've met some of the most amazing people through PlayStation chat, or game chat and things like that. So you're also denying the people who aren't there for bad reasons as well. It's a lazy way to do things, and it's definitely not how. And people will try and find ways around this thing as well. So I think that's a bad idea in terms of it.
They will dodge it for as long as they can until they're held accountable, essentially.
I was even going to say, even on like a mental health aspect as well. Some people, as you said, that's the way for them to just interact with people. Some people, that's generally like they've got enough of work or their life, they may not even be able to go out. That's a way for them to interact with others as well. So I feel like that is bad, even on that aspect.
I think to me it's definitely a step backward, because they're not actually trying to tackle the issue, they're just closing their eyes. Definitely enabling the chat system would be great, but then being stern with the banning system instead of taking 6 weeks and then to not actually ban anybody, that is definitely like a step backward. Companies need to be a bit more stern, and then they need to highlight that they are actively banning people. Pardon me. They are actively banning people, and I feel like they tend to shy away depending on the type of person they're banning. Too many big streamers and big content creators do get away doing certain things because of their numbers and because of the amount of people they have and their engagement. But if companies are now stern, that would definitely change the whole industry, the whole culture of gaming. Banning and being quiet won't do anything.
Are there any more? Did that answer the question? Yeah. Is there any other questions?
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you very much. It's been really interesting. The diversification of hiring your staff, having a diverse team, is obviously it's just clearly a great goal, but it's not an immediate solution due to needing to be able to hire them. So if you have a not so diverse team that is trying to represent well, what are some of your thoughts on, questions you should be asking yourself in that team, or ways that you can really try and become truly diverse and represented as people would want?
Reach out to communities like ours. We're not the only ones, but if you've taken a step forward in recognizing that your team is not as diverse as it should be, and I don't know your particular case, maybe there could be multiple reasons of why that's the case, I don't know. But if you're trying to find different ways to be diverse, you should also ask the community if you're trying to diversify. You can ask us. We're not hidden in the shadows. You can come forward and ask us, do you think this is good? Do you think this is right? Does this represent? Do you think this correctly represents you? And then we also amassed a following where we will then go to it, we'll discuss it, we'll talk about it, and then we can come back to you and say, oh yeah, we think this is good, we think this is bad, we think this could be improved, and this is. Now, of course, people get touchy-feely when it comes to their kind of artistic talent. No, this is how I draw. And if it negatively reflects you, then it negatively reflects you, but that's just how I draw. You can understand that, egos can get involved, but the first step is always to ask.
first step is also recognizing that maybe your team does need to be more diverse. I think that's already a good step that you've taken in the first place. And reaching out to other people saying, we're doing this game, and is this being, like, there's so many communities like Melanin Gamers, there's other communities out there, reaching out to them. And in the hiring process, like, we're working with Avalanche Studios, they want to diversify their teams, so can you send this out to your contacts? We know that you guys have a lot of people of color who follow you, so where you're also promoting your jobs and things like that, make sure they're in diverse spaces too. So, and reaching out to people. People are more receptive and than you realize that they are as well. Yeah.
Did that answer your question, sorry?
Grand. I think that's all we have time for. I think we're across the time. Perfect. Thank you guys so much for listening to our panel and for hearing us speak. Again, we are Melanin Gamers. We're a gaming community that promotes inclusion and diversity in the video games industry. We do panel talks like this one, gaming tournaments, networking events, that kind of thing. And again, today have been
Zen, bye, thank you.
Thanks for having me, Brown Sugar Saga.
I'm the researcher of Melanin Gamers Dark Knight, and Obsidian Free, like, you know, just anything like black, just, you know, that's probably where you find me.
And our cameraman over there is MGR Agent. So thank you very much. And thank you guys so much as well.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you.
Thank you.